So there's a lot more to 12/8 than simply playing slow drum ballads. It helps you establish and develop your triplet feel, shuffles, a little bit of jazz if you're interested in that. Basically any sort of playing that's in groups of three. So today I want to take a look at 3 easy drum beats in 12/8 that any beginner or new drummer could have a go at learning and playing. Here we go. So a bar of 12/8, as the name suggests, is simply a bar of 12 eighth notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And when you ask a drummer to play something in 12/8, that's the sort of feel we're going for. We're playing all the eighth notes on the hi-hat or right cymbal with the right hand, whatever drum you like, but we're feeding this in groups of 3 or 4 groups of 3, which is a far easier way to count it or feel it than counting all the way up to 12. So you could count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. In fact, a lot of drummers will get confused by that. What's the difference between a bar of 4/4 that contains triplets, a bar of 12/8 containing 12/8 notes, and 2 bars of 6/8 containing 6/8 notes? Well, the answer is nothing at all. It's just how you count it and how you feel it. We're basically playing all of those ideas in groups of 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, or 1 triplet, 2 triplet, or 1-hander, 2-hander, 3-hander, 4-hander. But I think the best way to sort of feel it is to understand that we're playing 4 groups of 3 notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get used to that sort of feel where you're feeling the downbeats of the bar every 4 beats, and you're playing in those 4 beats 3 notes, hence 12/8, 12, 4 times 3, that's my maths, equals 12. So the basic pattern I've got for you at the top is where every drummer needs to start with this 12/8 sort of feel. We're playing the bass drum on beats 1 and 3, the first and the third noting of groupings of 3, and the snare drum backbeats on 2 and 4, the second and the fourth grouping of 3 notes. So we get slowly, and I count it in 12 to start off with, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Don't worry, we're going to stop counting like that in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Or how I like to feel it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And you might want to accidentally or on purpose accent the downbeat of the hi-hat every time you play the beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you start to do that accidentally, because that's the only way you can play it, that's fine. But eventually you want to be able to work out how to play it so you don't have to accent every time. That's more control with your right hand. You can play loud, you can play light, but you don't want to be sort of locked in that you have to play that accent every third note. But if that helps you to sort of start to feel it, then that's absolutely fine. So let's take a look at our first example next, where we sort of move the bass drum around to make it a little bit more interesting. So for example 1, you can see, hopefully, that the first half of the bar is exactly the same as the second half of the bar. And that's going back to the beginning of this lesson. I talked about what's the difference between 6/8 and 12/8. Well, nothing really. You could have written this bar as 2 bars of 6/8 because they're both going to be exactly the same. But in later examples where the first half of the bar is not exactly the same as the second half, it might make more sense sort of mentally to be able to write it as 1 bar of 12/8. But for this example, you could consider it 2 bars of 6/8. And from now on, I'm going to count them as 1 triplet, 2 triplets, so I can sort of refer to where the bass drums are falling. Again, you can count it any way you like. But you can see in beat 2, 2 triplets, that last note of beat 2 has the bass drum falling on it. And when we loop the bar round, or go on to beat 3, we're going to get the bass drum falling again straight afterwards on the downbeat of beat 3. So if we just take the first half of the bar and loop that, it's exactly the same as the full thing, but 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 1, 2, 1, 2, and of course we can play the whole bar. 1, 2, 3 triplet, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, the urge to speed up too quickly, make sure you're lining up those bass drums and the snare drums nicely with the hi-hat, and this is your focus. If that's staying steady, then if you're lining up correctly with the right hand, it all sounds smooth. So 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet is one way you can count it, but eventually you can sort of just hear it, and you don't really have to count out loud. So here's an example of it played at a faster speed without the counting out loud in the microphone, so you can hear just the drums. So example 2 is another very popular 12/8 drum beat, where you can see that the change occurs in the second half of the bar, where we've got bass drum on beat 3, but then on the last note of beat 3, the lut, if you like, 3 triplet, we've got another bass drum, and that's going to push into the snare drum backbeat on beat 4, which gives the groove sort of a forward momentum, sort of pushes it forward in a really cool way. So slowly we get this: 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. It's the da, 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 da. I'm just looping beats 3 and 4 there. Put the whole bar together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel that sort of pushing forward there with the bass drum. So here's what that sounds like at a faster speed. By the way, you can download the free music notation for this lesson from my website. You'll find a link beneath this video. And what I've got for you is the basic pattern we talked about, the 3 examples I'm showing you in this lesson, and then also the final example which we're going to next, where I sort of combine these drum beats to show you an idea of how you can sort of combine these parts together. So you might want to have this printed out in front of you as we go through this lesson together. It might make things a lot easier for you to understand, and then while you're over there, you can check out what my website offers, but we'll talk more about that in the lesson. So example 3 is a tricky one because of the middle of the bar. Before we've had the bass drum resolving on beat 3 every time. Now we're going to have this little floaty bit where the drum beat's up in the air, if you like. That's what it sort of feels like, where we've got nothing resolving on beat 3 apart from the right hand. So your right hand is going to have to keep the time for you, and you have to be comfortable with that, not always resolving or playing a snare drum or bass drum always on beats 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the tricky bit is beat 2, 2 triplet, which we've done before, but then we go into beat 3, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4. Nothing apart from the hi-hat is played on beat 3. So that's the little tricky bit, and that's the bit you've got to feel comfortable and practice nice and slowly. So the whole bar together: 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. At a slow tempo like that, you can't really hear the groove. So let's speed up a little bit. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4, and without me counting. And when I play up to speed or a little bit faster for you, hopefully you can sort of hear how that groove jumps out, and you can sort of hear how it feels. Anyway, here's it played a little bit faster. So finally, what I did for you is to simply create 4 bars containing all the ideas from the previous 3 examples in different combinations. And of course, you can imagine the different possibilities and combinations you could come up with yourself. So I'm going to play these 4 bars for you twice slowly rather than explain each bar individually. And hopefully you'll hear the ideas we talked about or shown you in the previous part of this lesson, you'll hear them jump out in each of the examples in the bars. So slowly the 4 bars is this. Bit faster. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 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 1. And then finally up to speed, a bit faster. So we've really only just scratched the surface when it comes to playing in 12/8. Again, you can think of it as triplets, playing in a 4/4 bar of 8th note triplets. You can think of it in 6/8, 12/8, all these different feels. You could think about it in shuffles and a little bit of jazzy stuff. But it's all basically the same idea. We're thinking in groups of 3. And this is relevant for all different kinds of styles of drumming. But 12/8 is a nice little place to start practicing these groupings of 3 when you first start playing drums. So I hope you have fun. Don't forget to download the free PDF from the website. Give me a like or a comment below, depending on what platform you're watching this video. And until our next drum lesson together, toodle pip and happy drumming to you. If you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below. And you can watch my other free drum lessons by clicking the links on the screen now. Alternatively, if you want to learn how to play literally hundreds of famous and popular songs in full, from start to finish, and including the fully transcribed sheet music, then check out my website drumstheword.com for further details. Thanks for watching.